Hello and welcome to the PNL podcast. So, my name is Pierre and I have my co host just in front of me, Elle. Hello, Elle.
Hi, how are you?
Very good, thank you. Very good because actually today we are going to speak about a topic I like very much because it involves everybody. Like everybody is concerned about this topic. It's about what you do during your spare time, what you do when you don't have much to do. When you have a free time after work, if you are working somewhere or just during the weekend, what you enjoy doing during your spare time. And I can see every day actually that people use their spare time differently, quite differently. Before I didn't really care. I was just doing my own stuff, and then I started to notice, oh yeah, actually people are not everybody is like me. Some spend their own time differently, and for some, relaxing is has a different meaning than others. Like for most of the people, I would say I have met for the past 20 plus years, relaxing is usually just lying or sitting on a couch and watching a movie, perhaps, maybe reading a good book, maybe having a hot chocolate and some a cake and having a chat with your friends. Sometimes it's going to the restaurant, having a good meal, and for some others, relaxing is just using the time wisely, but in a different manner. Wisely in a different manner, meaning you will learn maybe something. Maybe you will take a class, or maybe you will learn something new, like you want to play at a theater. You will start some acting classes, or maybe you will learn a new language. You will learn Japanese or German, or for me, like it could be building a new software. So this is what we are going to speak about. Where would you like to start, Elle?
Well, let's start with what do we do personally in our free time? So what do you do, Mr. Pierre?
Me, well, I during my spare time. Yes, it's funny because what I do during my spare time is usually similar, not always. But the first thing I enjoy doing during my spare time when I'm alone, it's to learn something new, to feel myself productive, to read, I'm a software engineer, so I like to code. I like to create new web applications. Sometimes I like to build some proof of concepts for some startups and some side projects. Sometimes I have a few books and some ongoing books I'm writing, so I like to continue them. I like to go to a coffee shop, like Starbucks or another cafe. I will have a coffee and I will write. I like well, to feel that I do something, and I know that when I will go to bed, I will feel happy and satisfied because I know I have done something that might matter in the future. I have built a web application and I'm quite proud of, and I know I could use it later for building maybe perhaps a business I might start later in the future. And so I know that what I have done, well, it's not some wasted time. When I'm not alone, I obviously really enjoy spending time with my partner. I like also to walk. I love the nature as well. Like just the nature, like having a hike and discovering something new. I really like traveling and discovering new places, new cities. I enjoy eating. I enjoy,
Really?
yes, good food. I love it. However, I don't enjoy too much cooking during my spare time. I like it, but to me, I know that usually when I have some spare time, I prefer to use my spare time differently. Actually, it's funny because for me, my spare time is so important. It's so important for me to use every single minute wisely when I have some free time. Time is so important to me. And so free time could be also watching a video or watching a movie. But usually that movie has to needs to bring something good for myself. Like I would rather watch a documentary or something that will teach me something new rather than just a junk content that will not bring me anything, or even worse, will pull myself down. I mean, something that will add something negative in my head, and so it will even like make myself maybe less productive or feeling less good. So I like everything that help me to grow better and better. This is what I enjoy doing during my spare time. Pretty much. What else? I don't know. I believe for me, the sensation of feeling productive and doing something that matters, and even for the future, like wow, I feel like some dopamine. I feel well. But I like also to go in different places. Like I said, I love spending time with my partner. I like also to, well, going on holidays, discovering new cities, and just going to the amusement park. That's fine, but watching a movie once in a while, that's okay too. But not too often. Otherwise, I know that I will regret that spare time. For me, choosing what I will do during my spare time matters. What about you, Elle?
Well, to give you a context of what I do on the weekdays, I sometimes work 10 to 12 hours a day. Yeah, I'm lucky that I just work for 4 hours a day. That's like, that's a good time for me. And then, so usually when I have spare time for myself, the week has punched me everywhere. I am so tired, exhausted, lack of sleep. So on my spare time, I usually use it to recover from all the stress I experience from my weekdays. No, I don't work somewhere where it's relaxed. I have to keep moving. I have to do something all the time. I work as a context. I work in childcare, which I have to watch pretty much like a lot of children. So
How many kids?
well, here in South Australia, we have regulations. So here in Australia, it depends on which age you're assigned to. So now for now, I am from 2 to 3 to 6 years old. So it's basically like 1:11.
So 11 kids for you.
11 kids for one
11.
educator. Yeah, that's right. So doing that for 7 hours and only having 30 minutes in the middle as a break just to eat to have more energy for your next job, which is
And
cleaning.
question. I know you have just 30 minutes as a break, but use also those 30 minutes to read something at the same time as eating. Are you, I don't know, Are you reading some articles, or are you watching some videos, or are you chatting with maybe your siblings at the same time? For you, is it just eating that 30 minutes spare time, or it's also important to do two things at once?
Well, usually when my sister calls, then we would talk for a bit. But
During
then
the 30 minutes
during our 30 minutes while I'm
lunch.
eating, but also just look at Reddit and watch videos. Like, in accordance to Mr. Pierre here, it's trash videos, okay? And guess what? I forgive myself because I am so tired.
Yes, but do you enjoy doing that?
Pardon?
Do you enjoy like doing that 30 minutes lunch break? If you do it,
Not
it
lunch
means,
break, but between two shifts.
or between two shifts. But do you feel better watching those videos rather than not doing anything? Right?
Yeah, I feel.
You enjoy the entertainment.
Yes, although it's like mindless. Although it's not something that you can get out. It's not something that you can get something out of. I enjoy it very much. It's
That's
something
good.
that keeps your mind out of things and how hard life is, to be honest. And yeah, so that's what happened. And then I go to my other work, which is also like physically draining. So yeah, and then I go home at 10.
So 10 p.m. you go home,
And
you
then
finished, and then what usually you do? Like, do you still want to enjoy a bit of your spare time, or now it's like I'm too tired, I just want to go to bed, maybe eating a bit?
yeah, eating a bit, having a conversation with people that you really like and love, and then but that's it. You have to sleep and then do the same thing all over again tomorrow.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so sometimes I question myself, why is this becoming like a podcast about what I do on my weekday?
So because the podcast is about what we do during our spare time, and why usually spare time and hobbies mean something different for each other. It's nothing about judging, oh, this is good, this is bad. It's just sharing our feelings about what we enjoy doing and what we don't. And actually, everybody has a different perception of free time. Free time means free time, but it means you can do whatever you wish because it's free. Like, it's like freedom during that time. And for you, from what I understood so far, besides of your work, which is not free time, but when you don't work, or when you have a day off, I believe that happens too, times to times, you would watch some junk videos. I mean, I shouldn't say junk, just entertainment videos, or those kind of shorts that you say. And then you would read some Reddit posts. And what else? I mean,
I haven't really been to the part where I'm on my day off. So but yeah,
Right.
just to give you a context of what I do on my weekdays.
Sure.
So on my weekend,
That's interesting to know. So obviously you started from there because since you work a lot, what you would do during your spare time is different than if you didn't work a lot during the week, or maybe you had a less physical job.
yeah,
So
probably.
do you think what you would spend during your spare time would be different?
I don't know. Let's see,
There
because
is
I'm
no-
still going to what I do on my spare time, especially
Sure.
weekends. So now that I'm so busy, I barely have time to eat. So my weekends is just to recover from all of those things.
So it requires recovering time.
Yes.
And this is why
I'm putting context in everything, because it sounds like I'm a lazy person. It sounds like
it's so important to have the context.
yeah,
Otherwise,
because
it's-
otherwise, if I started saying, "Oh, in my spare time, I like lying in. I like to wake up at 10," and you know what? I like to just eat junk food on the weekends and watch videos, and it's just like that. So
you
putting
just
context.
miss some pieces of the puzzle
Yes.
otherwise.
So I'm just putting context in everything. That yes, I may not be as productive as Mr. Pierre here.
Oh no, but it's not
Because
a competition. It's just
yeah,
about, there's
yeah,
nothing about comparing each other. We are all different and we don't want to be alike. Like, the beauty of this world is we build different things during our spare time, meaning that we bring different ideas. And this is, you do whatever you wish, it's free time.
yeah. So that's what happens. I like to sleep in. I don't like to wake up at 5 because I need more sleep, to be honest, nowadays. And
So what time usually your ideal time to wake up? Is it only when you feel okay, I feel awake now, or do you have an ideal time you like to wake up during the weekend?
I trust my body, so if my body says that it's time to wake up, then it's time to wake up. So that's what I do
You listen your body. That's
as an
nice.
indicator. And then what I do on my weekend is just watch or listen to podcasts and
What kind of podcast?
like true crime podcasts. I like hearing those things. And
Like Stephanie Sue. Or...
yes, Stephanie Sue podcast. I like to watch cooking videos. Nowadays, I don't read a lot, which I do all the time before. But nowadays, I'm just I'm just referring to what is happening now because your hobbies
Absolutely.
or your free time, that what you do in there changes all the time.
Sure.
So
Yeah, it does. And you are not reading anymore. Do you think it's because you need more energy to read? When you are more tired, it's harder for you to read, or it's because you have a better mobile phone and so you prefer, like, the mobile phone is making you more addicted to it rather than to the books?
well, books require like a lot of like you have to be there for books to be enjoyed well, but since now that I'm so like I need time to just decompress from all of the stressors that I feel, especially when I'm also a part-time, no, not a full-time student. I'm doing 2 part-time jobs. It's like being able to just do nothing, scrolling mindlessly on my phone is what I do on my spare time. Yes, I like to spend time with my loved ones as well, but then sometimes it's good. This is my opinion. It's just good to do nothing, to consume quote unquote trash videos, because it doesn't require your brain cells to pop.
Sure.
Is what I'm saying. So that is just my perspective. I like to eat too during my spare time. It's really important to me, and I cook as well in my spare time, and I watch movies and typical, person would do. Well, yeah, I would like to indulge in some hobbies like sewing, but it's like
So
here
this
in
is like a
Adelaide.
new hobby you would like to start,
Yeah.
sewing?
So here in Adelaide, it's like nothing functions on weekends, so it's only on weekdays. So I haven't been able to do that, and I like to bake as well. But then when you think about the repercussions of baking, like how much you would pay for the tins, how much you would pay for the ingredients, how much you would pay for the electricity in an oven, it's like it stops you sometimes. Wow,
Yes.
so it's like a rant of how
Some hobbies are expensive.
yes, it's like this is starting to become a rant and how I'm so poor and I don't have hobbies. The end. But anyways, that's it.
Anyways.
That's how I spend my free time.
Yes, but Elle, you recently told me that you invited your sister for a painting class. Is it something you like to do in your spare time? To paint? Did you feel better after? Like, wow, I'm happy of what I painted, and during the painting, it was like a good moment.
Yeah, it was a really good moment. It was we were just together. We don't know how to paint. All of us don't. It's like some instructor was there to tell us the steps and how to do it, and yeah, we did it somehow. I formed a flamingo that looks more or less like a flamingo, and
Nice.
yeah, from far away it looks like a cherry, but when you move closer, you will see the details in there. But yeah, it's my first time just using acrylic paints and having those canvas paints canvas thingy, and it's like, yeah, it's a good hobby, but then it's also an expensive hobby, and when you don't have good results in the beginning, it's like, wow, is this money for the trash? I don't know. So yeah, I did that too. I enjoy those things, but then it's it's good to sometimes just take a nap.
That's right. Yes, indeed. So yes, I can now we can see the differences we have. Um, Obviously, it's because we have, I believe, we like different things. For me, I think since I'm really young, I like to enjoy my spare time in a kind of a productive way. Depends, but I have always been like that. I remember when I was a kid, I was trying to sell some. My parents were buying biscuits and those kinds of snack, And on Fridays, on Saturdays, I was doing a show with my sister in front of my parents. And before that, I was saying, yeah, I put in a shoebox, an empty shoebox, some snacks and some treats. And I had a little smaller box, and I put like it's €1, $1, and so my parents could pay for the snack. They could buy it, and also I built like a vending machine in front of my bedroom, and so my parents could get some snack. I mean, it was the snack my dad would buy from the supermarket, and so I was trying to get some small ideas, and I was building that during my spare time, and it was funny and it was a good time. But I always enjoyed doing like building things. So I believe how you like to do in your spare time, like what you said, El, it changes over time, but usually it's always a little bit similar to what you used to do. Obviously, we changed for good, or sometimes it depends on the lifestyle. Like now, you are super busy from what you said, so it makes sense what you do during your spare time is different. Like in my case, before I was more a nomad person. I would basically live in hostels and not having, just traveling like every night. I didn't know where I would sleep, and I was just traveling from cities to cities. And obviously, my spare time would be traveling and reading books on my Kindle, and yeah, coding as well on my laptop, in the bus, in the train or in the plane. But I would otherwise just listening audiobooks and podcasts, not really about true crime, but mostly about, well, it was mostly about business and startups and marketing. I believe what you like usually has a link from, yeah, it's really interesting what you do during the spare time, because this is like the true passion. Normally, I believe what you do during your spare time, what you do if you have a job, your job should be similar, because then your job will become also something as enjoyable as what you do during your spare time. But obviously, you cannot, like, if you love podcast, listening to podcasts, maybe you can try to make a podcast like what we do now, or maybe to work in something similar. Yeah, it's something interesting. Anyways, so just before to start this show, Elle and myself, we were looking on the internet some articles and some other ideas we could speak about, well, what do people do during their spare time? And some of them, some ideas were a bit different than what we thought originally. Isn't it, Elle?
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna have a look at me because I think it's a bit extreme. Something here says
Extreme.
something here says, and it's not really inclusive because it says here too, spend some silent moments in conversation with God. Like, it's not for everybody, you know?
So, and I know you are from a Catholic country.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that?
No, because God would be listening to a lot of messed up things from me, you know? So it's like, who wants to subject God from those things, you know? Like, God needs to have relaxation, you know? Because he's been dealing with a lot of things from a lot of people, so he needs relaxation. That's the best thing I can do. So yeah, just, you know, do it by yourself. Don't include God in there, you know? It's like, God's busy man, you know? Anyway, I mean, some here is like really good advice, you know, like it says here, to
Meditation could
Yeah.
be good.
I mean, some are not applicable for me personally because, you know, it's like, it's just me. Like, be an
Yeah.
active volunteer for an NGO.
Oh,
I don't want to see people on my spare time. Like, what are you
yes.
saying?
Some people like to be busy all the time, and the spare time is just seeing other people, and sometimes just helping others in a OMG or something like that.
Yeah. What do you mean
For
OMG? NGO?
NGO, yes.
Non-governmental organization. Not, oh my God. Anyway.
However, for you, and I believe for you, spare time is more to be alone. Like, leave me
Yes.
alone.
Leave me alone,
I
please.
just don't like doing some volunteer work would be like a work for you, I believe.
Yeah. And number 2 here is settle your house. It means like, you know, clean your house. That
Oh.
I would rather do that.
For your
Clean my
spare
house.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clean my house. It's relaxing, you know. Washing dishes, cooking.
Washing dishes is relaxing.
Really relaxing. It's like it doesn't require your brain to start working, you know. And it's like the more you use your brain, the more junks you put in there by yourself. You
You're
know?
absolutely right. But you see, in my case, when I wash those dishes, I enjoy it because it's a little bit relaxing. You have hot water on your hands. It's a little bit relaxing. But I like to. It's not enough for me. I have to listen an audiobook or a podcast where I can learn something by doing the cleaning the dishes. I cannot just do the dishes. I have to add something else. If I cut the grass outside, I have to listen an audiobook. I have to learn something. I cannot just do this. The same when I work, I said that, especially before when I was like a nomad, I used to hike a lot. I need to listen something. I need to do something else at the same time, not just working.
So basically, it's like for you, spare time is something to do more. Well, for me, spare time is
that's
something
right.
to do less.
It's to speed up myself.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, we have different perspective and how we want.
And that's
yeah.
beautiful, I believe.
Yeah.
Differences are the best.
Yeah, to spend our free time, and you know that's okay as long as you're not hurting anybody. So sign up for a dance class. Doesn't work for me. I don't know how to dance. What about you?
Yes, but if it's a class, it's because you want to learn how to dance.
Yeah, and you know, and
sometimes for some people it's just to socialize. If you feel a bit lonely.
Well, you know, signing up for a dance class is a perfect opportunity for other people to laugh at my dancing skills, you know? So I paid to be embarrassed. That's what it is. So yeah.
You see this as...
I see that as, you know.
But if it's a beginner class, it shouldn't be the case.
Yeah, but some pretend to be beginners, but they're actually really good at it. Anyway, go for a walk or a jog. I like this, you know?
Yes.
Just getting a fresh air.
Yeah.
Free your mind from all those things. Just
having a walk.
Yeah.
However, you wouldn't listen anything. Just walking.
Actually, there was this one time where when was it? Last Thursday this week. The weather was so good. The sun was there. It was so bright outside. It's like I just had to stop looking at my phone and just focusing on now. Not hearing anything, just now, just silence. And I was walking, it's like, wow, this is a good day. Yeah?
I like that.
Yeah, it's like, you know, I don't like to I mean, I could be in a fast-paced environment, but, you know, sometimes I want to have a perfect balance of both. So, you know, I don't want to listen to anything. I don't want to be on my phone. I just want to walk, watch the sun, watch everything unfold in front of my eyes. And, you know, this is it. Just have a walk and that's it. I was walking towards my work actually, but yeah.
Mm.
Still, I enjoyed it, which is amazing.
This is nice.
Yeah, so visit some historical monuments in your city.
Mm.
Yeah, you could do
Yeah,
that.
that's good too. Going to the museum,
If it's
going
free.
to the art gallery.
Yeah. Here in South Australia, it's free, which is nice. So you could do that. Then
Yes.
start a blog about something to do that interests you.
That's
Starting
a
a blog.
really good advice, which I did already in the past a few times. Is it something you would like to do, Elle, or it's not really your cup of tea?
Well, it's not really my cup of tea, I would say, because I feel like to start a blog, you must be somebody influential. You must be somebody, who shares the same views as other people. And I think that, I I don't most of the time, and also the way I put ideas is not as widely acceptable as what others would.
Well, yes, but however, if you're passionate into a topic, you will influence, I believe, or you would inspire the readers because you're so passionate into it. You will publish really valuable contents because when you're passionate into a subject, you know by definition more than the average who are not as passionate as you but would just like to learn more.
Yeah, that could be too. But then, as for now, I am not an expert nor passionate of something, which is a bit sad. But
You said sewing. Maybe when you will learn how to sew, you would like to share your experience with others, or maybe it's not.
yeah, that could be nice. But
What? Yeah. Or cooking. I know. Obviously, Elle. I mean, you like to eat, but you are also a good cooker. A good cook. Sorry. So you cook quite well, and especially Filipino meals. You are quite good at baking any kind of Filipino dishes, like very good actually. So would you see yourself as sharing some, I don't know, doing some cooking shows or
yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. If yeah, it's just if I have the motivation, which for now I don't. So yeah, but I see myself doing something like that. Yeah. So, anyways, I also have something here. It said, read a good book. So yeah, it's like a common advice for how to spend your free time by reading a good book. I haven't read a book for a while, which is
I have a question, and I like this kind of question, and I would like to know your opinion. If you had to rate your happiness or your, I don't know, the way how you feel after having done something during your spare time, if you read a book for 2 hours, a really good book, like, I don't know, I know you like Stephen King, for instance, or if you just watch some videos on the internet on your phone, which activity will make you feeling happier after a book or a video?
well, it depends actually because a video like the quote unquote trash videos, it gives you the payoff quickly. Like you have this immediate happiness, satisfaction upon watching those shorts or stuff like that. It could be a YouTube video too. Some YouTube videos are really informative, but when it comes to reading a book for 2 hours, if you're a really fast reader and you can read everything, then that's nice of you. But then I Stephen King books are big,
Yes,
large books, and you can't read them for just 2 hours. So I
indeed.
wouldn't get the payoff.
But
I will just
for
be at the
you, the
beginning.
satisfaction of the book, is it only at the end of the book or also during the while you read the book?
Yeah,
It's not because you haven't finished the book that you wouldn't feel well and happy and satisfied.
here's the tricky thing about books that are fictional, not something that is like motivational. It's some parts, the 2 hours in which you read a book, some parts are not gonna be good. Some parts are like, what is this? Some parts are really good, and then you could be unlucky. For 2 hours, you're reading something that is part of the book that is really shitty, you know? So it could be a roller coaster of happiness that you feel. So yeah, it depends. Are you on a good part of the book? Yeah, absolutely. I would feel really well to have read a book where I am at the good parts. But when, when you compare it to reading a book where it's at its low parts, like it's like, wow, I want to sleep, versus watching a video on YouTube, probably I would choose watching a video on YouTube instead compared to reading the boring part of the book. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, you find satisfaction in some other ways.
This does, but sometimes when you watch a video on YouTube, some videos won't be good either. It's also like a roller coaster.
Yeah, that makes sense. But the thing is, I'm trapped inside this cage of wanting satisfaction now rather than waiting for it.
Yeah.
Because
You never, just you prioritize what you can get now.
Yes.
And not too much in the long term.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. That's fair. And what about a movie? You mentioned a lot of short videos, contents on Reddit, podcasts, but what about movies? I know from what you said before, you used to watch also a lot of videos, a lot of movies, same as reading books. But nowadays, maybe you watch less, not as many movies as before.
Yeah.
What about them?
Well, I think books versus short videos versus movies. If you really get lucky and have a good movie, I think a good movie is better.
It's the best.
To be honest, yeah. For me, just for me, something for
a good James Bond.
A good James Bond, maybe a good movie in general. Apparently the James Bond books are really racist, and I don't know, like there's some issue in there. I haven't read one, but apparently it is. So it's like, I don't know. Anyway, I haven't read the books, but the movies I've watched. Anyway, that's digressing. So yeah, so going back to the article that we've been speaking about.
Exactly.
What
else can you see from there?
It says find a hobby for yourself.
Find a hobby. Yeah. Well, first of all, what's a hobby? Because for someone, like reading a book is not really a hobby. A hobby has to be like a dancing class. Every week I dance. That's my hobby. I play piano. That's a hobby. I'm on the computer watching movies. No, that's not a hobby. Hiking is a hobby. Just having a walk with your pet, with your dog, it's not a hobby. Having a tea time with your loved one is not a hobby. However, playing basketball can be a hobby. So you see, again, hobby is really... Well, the definition of a hobby, I believe, is like doing something regular in a regular basis, but something. Yeah, I'm not too sure. What is it for you, a hobby?
A hobby is something that you enjoy doing, probably spending a bit of money on.
Yeah.
And I think something that doesn't have the immediate satisfaction, I would say. Because for me, if I have a hobby right now, if it allows me, I would like to plant some vegetables in a garden,
Plant.
Yeah, like
gardening. Yeah.
Gardening, I would love to do that. So it's like a hobby. I don't have a payoff. At the beginning, it's like it's
yeah, that's a
gradual
hobby.
payoff. Yeah,
for sure.
Hiking could be like a hobby too. I think you hike once a week, and
if you're so passionate and you want to do all the mountains in Australia or in the world, and you want to go to Tasmania, hiking the Mount Wellington, and everywhere else. That can be a hobby, or even just sometimes for some others. I know I have some colleagues. They like to do some jeep, um, those kind of 4x4 uh, jeep cars, and they go, in the desert, in the wild, and they go camping there. Oh, camping is also a hobby,
Yeah, which
but
I'm not a fan of.
staying in a hotel is not seen as a hobby. It's because camping is like, it's much more than just sleeping. It's about everything related to camping. Um, having how to start a bonfire, how to cook with a bonfire, with some, a bonfire next to the tent, how to survive during the night, how to, yeah, there are a lot of survival tricks you can develop, and this is probably why it can be a hobby.
Yeah, so having a hobby, but it's like it's a bit hard to start, I would say, a
Yeah,
hobby.
that's right.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like in my case, actually, I said that I don't like cooking too much. I mean, when I have to choose what to do during my spare time, I prefer to choose things where I know I'm building up my career path and myself and who I want to become in the future. But I think I do have a hobby. I didn't start, obviously, but because it's something also quite hard to start, is to make cheese. And I would love to. It's not a baking cheese, but it's, well, making cheese. And I think that will be a fun hobby. I would love to do one day when I will have a house and where I will be more in a stable and long term, permanent moment of my life.
Yeah. Same with planting. Yeah, you have to be somewhere you have to permanently live in, because it's like you have to have the soils. You can't plant in an apartment. I mean, a full on, tomato garden. I don't know. You
Well,
can't.
if you
Yeah.
have a balcony,
Yeah,
you
but then
can.
the balcony won't be enough. You need more
No,
space.
and usually in some building apartments, some apartment buildings, they are quite strict
Yeah.
what you can have on your balcony.
Yeah, they also have like visits, so it has to be really clean. So it's like, So yeah, there's plenty of more. Says watch a movie.
Oh yeah, that's a classic one.
Spend some time in your personal care. A great way to productively spend your free time would be looking into your personal care.
Speaking about personal care, yes, indeed, sometimes it can be about a diet. Sometimes it's just about, like, okay, every every other Saturday I will go to the spa, or I will book a massage for myself. And maybe I will go to the swimming pool. Swimming, it's also, I used to love swimming, but in the sea. That's a kind of a hobby as well. But sometimes it can be just, yeah, going to the spa, or going to have a massage, or maybe doing your nails or something like that.
Yeah,
Having
self-care. Well, for your free time, I think self-care should be on a daily basis.
yes.
Like you just don't self-care
No, it's
just
it's the
because.
base.
Yeah, like for me self-care is like, showering,
Oh,
brushing your teeth. It's like
oh yes.
I you
Probably,
take care of yourself.
yes, they probably meant something different
Yeah, I
about
meant
self-care.
yeah, I meant like something rare, like getting your nails done or getting a massage, which is what you've mentioned. But yeah, it's a good thing too. You know what? I just realized that all of this requires a bit of money.
Yes, I think hobbies are also usually about spending money, and sometimes a lot. If you like photography, you would have to spend, that's a hobby actually, a really common hobby, and you would have to spend a lot of money buying a good camera. Reflex camera, usually it costs like
1,000.
yeah,
Easily.
yeah, easily, and you have to buy a lot of lenses as well
Yeah.
for your camera, and it's an expensive hobby. But a lot of hobbies are expensive.
Yeah, now just think about it. It's like, wow, um, doing things that you think would would that would make you feel better on your spare time requires money.
Well, you work, you give hours of your life in exchange of money, and then when you don't work, you use that money you earned to do something that make you feeling good, and so you spend that money to buy good food. You spend that money to plant some tomatoes. You spend that money for having your nails done or for having a massage. Some hobbies are more expensive than others. Shopping, especially for ladies, for women, shopping is quite an expensive hobby, especially if you go to those kind of luxury shops. Well, it's a really expensive hobby, but I know some girls, they would spend easily, like they would go shopping once a month with their friends, and they would go, buying maybe one item to Louis Vuitton and another item to Zara, which is cheaper, and yeah, they would spend maybe $2,000 in per month, but it's a hobby, so for them it means a lot. And after, it's about who they are. Oh, I wear these clothes, so this is who I am, and so they see themselves differently. And if it makes them feeling really good for them, it's worth it, because they are not just someone wearing some random clothes. They are someone having this kind of brand on themselves, and this probably counts much more than anything else. Holidays is also quite an expensive hobby. It depends what kind of holidays you want to have. But if you want to stay in good hotels, in some kind of 3-4 stars hotels, well, it will be quite more expensive. And then you have a holidays budget, so you will go to the restaurant as well. You don't want to be on budget on holidays. So yes, it's about saving monies for spending that amount of money in things you like a lot, and to reboost yourself as well.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what other people do. But for me, in the end, how you spend your time, well, it's a personal choice, and as long as you're enjoying it, and hopefully you're not as stressed as me, then like enjoy the time that you spend your time how you like it. Like don't don't let others guilt you into doing things that you don't want to do just because you think that how you spend your spare time is not the right thing, because there's no right thing. You spend your time how you like it, and
Yes.
whether it's going to be a learning experience or whether it's going to be something that is not meaningful. Well, although it's really good to spend your time in a meaningful manner, but sometimes you just like to be bored, to be honest, like do nothing. If you like that, then why not do it? It's your time. You do it how
Exactly.
you do it.
Yeah, and that's the most important. You just have to know yourself and what makes you feeling happy. I mean,
Yes.
what makes you happy.
Because in the end of the day, you are satisfying yourself. It's your time.
Yeah,
Satisfy yourself and not others.
definitely don't do things to make others happier. Well, it's your spare time, it's your free time, and you own it. Don't spend it with people you don't like or are toxic. just spend the time you want your time to be spent.
That's right. Well, like the old saying, time you spent enjoy doing nothing, and if you enjoyed it, then it's time well spent. So it's what the old saying goes. Like if you enjoyed doing nothing, then it's not time wasted. That's it.
Nice.
That's coming from a perspective of a person who likes to do nothing.
That's a beautiful saying. Well, yes, I think we pretty much spoke about a lot of different really interesting point of views of how do people spend their spare time and why and how. Why is because we want to do something we like, we enjoy, and we all have a different way and different manner to relax and to spend our free time on a daily basis, and how obviously I believe having different kind of activities as well are important. I know for me, if I only spend my free time on my computer, at some point it will be too much. I have to read as well. I have to, have either work, to cook, to eat, spend time with by doing something else. I spend time with my partner, spend time sometimes in the bath. I like actually also just lying in the bath with hot water, and that's a way for me to feel very relaxed after. Usually I'm also on my phone looking and brainstorming as well, I have to be honest, but it's it's in a different environment. I believe for me it's not the most important is changing the environment where I spend my spare time. That's why going to a cafe and then going home and then going to the bath and then going to the spa and then traveling to a different city, that means a lot for what I do during my free time. Do you have anything else to add, Elle?
Well, that's it for me. After this podcast, I'm gonna lie
What are
down.
you going to do? Like, you don't have any shifts after you this podcast?
Well, it's a Sunday.
Yeah,
Thank God I don't.
that's good.
And
Because
I'm gonna
sometimes you even do have some
I
shifts on
know.
some
So
days.
this is why sometimes I ask myself, why am I doing this?
I'm exactly. I'm happy you don't have to work today.
Thank you.
You will. So what you are going to do for now is to lie down and.
I probably won't because I still have plenty of things to do.
Oh,
Which give me a break, people. Anyway, I would like to lie down. Thank you.
beautiful. Well, in my case, I'm going to be on my computer doing some coding learning. I'm actually learning a new programming language, Elixir, and I love that. That's what I will be doing during my spare time for the next 1-2 hours. Let's see. See you.
See ya.